Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the sincere Akwath, and shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. Now, this lesson is going to be based on, the damage from these storms that the Lord has been sending, particularly the storm that hit Belrose, Queens. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says, vehicles crushed by trees in Queens during soaking storms. It says, cars were crushed by falling trees in Queens, and there were reports of several other trees down across the city as the worst of the storms moved through the tri-state area on Monday. A giant tree came crashing down on a Mercedes sedan on 86th Avenue in Belrose. Despite the damage, the owner of the Mercedes was in good spirits Monday afternoon. It's all right because, at least nothing happened, right? It didn't fall on the house. Otherwise, it would be a really big disaster, said Roland Virgil Detios. Detios doesn't live in Belrose, but was visiting family when the 90-year-old oak tree uprooted during the severe weather. The mature tree stood roughly 65 feet tall before it toppled. It's so massive that even lying on its side, the branches extend about 30 feet in the air, and the unearthed root system is about 8 feet tall. And buried under the plush leaves and sprawling branches was another car, a 2025 Hyundai Elantra parked across the way. Said, I work from home. I was just sitting on my desk, which faces the window that faces the street, and I heard a big crack. I thought it was thunder, so I just looked up and I saw the entire tree light coming toward the house, said Paya Matthew. So then I ran downstairs because I didn't even remember if my car was on the side or in the front. At about 10 miles away, a tree also came down on a truck in Woodside, and there were reports of other trees down across New York City, including in Gramercy, where a downed tree blocked off East 18th Street near 2nd Avenue. And on the Upper West Side, a tree fell over on cars on West 90th near Riverside Drive. He said, you just go through all the what ifs. And, I was just about to sit in my car and go to the gym. Well, I was about to send my dog out in the yard, and that's where he goes. Like, it does to do his business. And I'm thankful that nothing bad happened. But you just kind of have to figure out what to do next. This is while most of the rain has moved out of the area, flooding still remains a concern for Monday evening. Yeah, so these are the destructive storms of the Lord. Powerful winds uprooting trees, and then the trees fall and crush people's cars or fall onto people's homes. And then, you got to deal with the rain and the potential for flooding. Now, when it floods in New York, it floods bad in New York. 2 Timothy 3:1, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And when you look up the definition of perilous, it means full of danger or risk. And these storms pose a lot of danger. The powerful winds can cause the street lights to fall over. It clearly can uproot trees, have trees falling over, blocking the road, falling onto people's cars, falling onto people's homes. I mean, thankfully, nobody was in any of these cars that these trees fell on, because somebody could have got seriously injured or even killed. And then, you get torrential rains from these storms, and that can cause flooding. And like I said, here in New York, when it floods really badly. Especially when you get to like the subway, like the subways get flooded. Like it's horrible, man. But these are what we can expect a lot more of, for these storms and tempests of the Lord to just get worse, to get more intense, to happen more frequently, to be more destructive, because we are living in the last days. Isaiah 29:6, Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And clearly that's what the Lord is visiting with, these storms. The rain, the lightning, the hail, the powerful winds. Telling you, there's no getting around these scriptures. The things written in these scriptures are clearly coming to pass. And it seems that only those who are blessed with eyes to see can see that. Isaiah 28:2, Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. And the Lord is sending these destroying storms. These storms can cause power outages, they can cause fires, people's homes, people's cars can get destroyed, trees getting uprooted, lots of flooding in certain areas, areas with poor drainage or no drainage at all for the water to go into. Slakia. Got demons in this house. Psalms 11:6, Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and in horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. And when you look up the definition of tempest, it means a violent windy storm, usually in the form of a hurricane or a tornado, but that's obviously on the more extreme end. Psalms 83:14, As the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. Verse 15, So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. And that's exactly what the Lord is doing, sending these storms and tempests upon these cities, bringing a lot of destruction, and in some cases, even death. And there's nothing that people can do. People can't stop these storms from happening. The most people can do is try to prepare for them as best as they can. And if the storm and tempest is going to be too intense, people got to get out of the way. They got to evacuate. Outside of that, there's really nothing anybody can do. Because you cannot stop the wrath of the Lord from being brought upon these wicked kingdoms or upon these wicked people with whom the Lord is angry with. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the sincere Akwath, and shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. I hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, Shalom.